Hi everybody, Inez Simpson here, and I'm a hypnosis trainer plus the creator of Simpson Protocol. And what I'm here for, I am making myself think spring is around the corner. We started this video the other day and it was blowing and howling outside and we lost power. So now today it's very still and quiet because now we have some snow. We have a few centimeters of snow, or for anybody else who's in inches, probably a couple inches. But as we get into higher elevations here, some of my friends have a foot of snow or 30 so centimeters. So it's winter, but I'm looking around the corner and we're going on our usual spring tour of teaching SP. So I thought I'd go through it a little bit, first the schedule and anything I need to tell you about it, because I'm sure some of you have never heard of it. And some of you have, but you haven't understood it, what it's all about. So we'll get into all of that. And some of you may be wondering why you're even listening to me, so stick around and find out. Okay, so first we're going here in Parksville, where I live. It's on Vancouver Island. And in March, we're going to be teaching a 4-day Simpson Protocol here. We'll then head to Calgary, and I'll be teaching it with my other Canadian trainer, Jackie Belloc, and she'll be teaching in Saskatchewan, in Regina, I believe. Now, they may change the Regina part, I'm not sure, but it's in Saskatchewan. I know that. So in April, that's when we go to London, Ontario, and we're teaching there for another 4 days, because we only teach Simpson Protocol in a 4-day live training. Must be live. There's never anything on the internet. We follow up for students on the internet, but we do live training as expected because you need to experience it, you need to do it, it needs to be totally understood. So, but the exciting part is that's just our Canadian dates. So then we're going to head out to the UK, to Huddersfield, and Kaz Riley is going to host us in there. That's Northern England, by the way. And I'm happy to go there because I haven't been to Northern England before. So I'm kind of excited. Plus, I mean, Kaz is a great hypnotist. So I'm really going to have a great class there. And she's done SP before. So she understands it. She has background. And the other thing we're doing, Kaz and I, we are launching, because Kaz Riley is the sex expert, and I'm going to call her the sexpert from now on. So Kaz and I have created the Simpson Protocol Holistic Sex, what did I call that? Let's look at it. This is our draft. As you can see, it's not a manual yet. Simpson Protocol Holistic Hypnosis for Sexual Function and Dysfunction, which I think we're shortening, I'm shortening anyway, to SP Holistic Sexual Protocol. So we're going to launch that in that 4-day, and you'll have both creators there for that launch. Now we're going to go retroactive to all those other ones I've mentioned all the way through the Canadian source, and we are going to have a special deal for that. And as yet, I'm just going to keep it secret. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about SP, short for Simpson Protocol. So we do have manuals that are finished for that. So understand that Simpson Protocol is not a technique. When it says it's a protocol, it's a system for working with the client's mind, allowing the client's mind to lead the whole session. And I'm not talking about the conscious mind here. I'm talking about what we consider the part of the mind that knows everything or can address everything. So there's parts of us that know everything about us. But when you're in the conscious mind and in that situation, as my friend Bob Burns would say, he'd say, it's not a conscious problem or you would have dealt with it. It is a subconscious problem. And I'd go much further than that we use all aspects of the mind and very holistic, body, mind, and spirit, to make sure that we cover everything that would need to be addressed or was adjacent to it, supporting it, or anything, all with the protocol. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and I'm going to say maybe why I started creating this, because it was an evolution. It wasn't a fit idea, and I just sat down and wrote this manual. This is 15 years ago I started this process. And the idea behind it was that I was doing regression to cause work, which was working really well. But after a while, there's either you don't really want to hear the stories anymore, and you don't need to know everything, and I also don't need to make them run through it all. Again, telling me over and over what's needed. So for me, it was to make their conscious mind stop compounding it for them, and for me not to have to make a judgment about anything. So at the beginning, I was still making judgments because I wasn't knowing exactly what I was doing, but I started to run them through in a way they didn't have to do much of anything with their conscious. And I would just know when they were done because their inner mind would let me know with what we had set up as ideomotor response. So I'm not going to go and teach this. I can't teach it there because the reason this manual is so big is we take someone through right from the beginning, the person walking before they walk in the door, to all the way to the end of the session. Plus, none of us will say that we can always do something in one session. If we do, it's a bad judgment. Okay, so this is quite a large manual. And in fact, you get 2 manuals in this 4-day training. So the reason this is so thick is because we take you from before you see the client all the way to the client's outcome. And that can vary from one session, usually around average for most people would be 3, but you could have 4, but whatever it is, it's just the time according to the client's mind. It's not your judgment, it's not even their conscious judgment. So everything is addressed with that part of the mind that can understand everything about the client. We are working with what we call the superconscious mind. Now, some people equate that with the higher mind. The higher mind is the part that's taking the work on for the individual. It's that part of them. But the superconscious mind to me is sort of like collective unconscious, the Google of the mind. You can accept it usually has more ethics and stuff because it'll only give the client what is positive for them. But the other thing it does though is it won't go past what their free will is. So you still need all the aspects of hypnosis and having the desire for change, etc. But we address some of that stuff so that we start at a very clean slate and move from there on to the outcome. Now, people say, well, how do you do this? And I say, well, you work on whatever the mind produces for you to work on, and then we keep working on those till there's the outcome. That's as simple as that. Now, it used to be, most of the time, people went to classes for what we call techniques. What techniques to use in hypnosis? How do I get the client from here to there? And you used to learn a lot of techniques. But this is not a technique. This is a protocol, and it involves many techniques, but without having to do the technique and the structure that it used to be. It's very simplified. So we do anything from very normal things that you've always heard of, and some new things you probably wouldn't have heard of. So the other thing that's really important here is that some people this won't work for. If you're the type of hypnotist or person that likes to decide what needs to be done, and because you know everything the client needs to do, there's nothing wrong with that. Just keep doing what you're doing. But if you were tired of hearing all the horrible stuff, or if you're just tired of having to figure out every issue, well, this is where I'm going to start. One of my students and guy is great, and he said that he's done a whole bunch of things he never used to do before SP because he didn't know where to start. Now with SP, you are led to know where to start. This guy is a very busy guy. He does at least 5 clients a day, 5 days a week, and sometimes more. And it used to be burning him out a lot, having to figure everything out. And now he just follows the protocol, and he does what he does in a very easy way. And he's not burning out. He's all rested. He's all just happy. Now, this is a guy that's had like at least 25 years or more experience. I think he's incredible. Now, I just want to go on, though, about the parts that are for me. I don't work that hard. Never did. I chose that I would work a certain amount of time. And in that time, it was enough. I didn't have to know everything that was going on for the client. I just didn't. You can work completely clean. If you see me working in conventions or whatever, and you can see those on YouTube, a lot of times, many of you have been watching those videos. And in fact, we're going to give you videos ahead of time just to get you started in the philosophy and the understanding of it before you come. So you're not coming in cold. But when you watch that, I don't even, when I'm working with someone at a convention or in a class, I never ask what we're working on. I have not a clue. And the mind takes them through the whole thing till they have a change. Now in class, we may not have a full outcome because I'm only doing demos on certain things. So when you see the things online, most of them are not finished outcomes. So there's much more to it than that, but that's what you show in an hour course or whatever. So that's what you start with, but at least it'll shift your thinking. And you could also get a book an ebook online, and you just go to simpsonprotocol.com and get that free book. And that'll give you the idea and what it's about. It's not a manual at all. It's just more explanation of what it's all about. And another thing that's really interesting is people used to ask me, do I have to be a hypnotist to come and see and take the course? And I used to say yes. But it was strange because every now and then someone would sneak in who was some kind of therapist of some type, but they weren't necessarily a hypnotist. And I actually found those people learned very easily because I didn't have to change their habits from before. It was very interesting. So now I just say, email me and see if you and I can chat. We can see if it's for you. So let's just talk about what the 4-day entails. The first 2 days are the basics, what we call basics. And that is getting the person into the right states. It's by using all the stuff we need to know. So by the end of the 2 days, you know exactly how it works and how to do it. So the next 2 days are how to take it out into the world in all other aspects and learn how to do everything 100%. So people ask me, do you do this for everything? And I say, yes, I do it 100% all the time. Do I work with everybody? That there's the odd person. So we'll go to, I call it the 1% or 0.1%, because they're the ones that won't allow hypnosis for anyone or anywhere. And we do address that to a degree. And we are evolving to get more and more people to allow it to happen. So every time it evolves, we get a little better. But 99.9% of the time, that works perfectly. So, you know, it's interesting because when I first started to do it, I had a lot of, I'd ask, what are you here for? And lots of hypnotists would say, well, we don't think we've been very deep in hypnosis. And so I wanted to know what their expectations of hypnosis were. And then I went from there and I put them into those deep places and things would happen. Now, in practices, with a class of about 25 people, we had 3/4 of them all going all the way into Esdale. Now, Esdale's a pretty deep state, and I didn't do that. That was in practice, the first practice. So I'm really excited to start this training season, and especially when it's spring here. But the other thing is, it isn't just me. It's not that, oh, Inez is so great, she keeps evolving and getting it better. It's not about that. It's so exciting for me to teach it because I love it. And also as the people come in, they change things. The energy gets very intense. There's 4 days of the same people bonding and creating this massive energy, which has, sure, I bring some of that. We all do. But it's so much fun, and I hope to see you there.